Hello and welcome. It is Friday, the second day of August 2019. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. Like always, all bets, trades of the like within each's own risk and their own reward. We'll start off within Bitcoin, then move into precious metals. 10,521 as at 9:22 a.m. Eastern Time. As we're seeing, really the second attempt and the better of the two. And reverting this trend, as the first one was in here, since, of course, this high, which was a lower high from this one. And we look at the rage bound market, we got this low and this high. And we're obviously not even halfway there. And I can mathematically figure out how far we are and to calculate what percentage it has retraced from a key point. The calculation is the following. And that is using the log function. I have no idea how mathematically it does it, but the log function of the current price. And when I did it before the start of the video, the price was 10,535. So either way, it's about the same. And you divide it by the low, and then you divide that by the log of the highest price divided by the low. And the highest price is 13,880. The lowest price being 9,050. The answer to such is 35.5%, which means we're entering that 10,600 or so, 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level. But it's got a long ways to go, of course, within this, and until it breaks that range. And now, by having a move that's about 38% or 35.5% higher from the low compared to this high, well, it's now got a decent ways to go in an attempt to retest the low. So getting up to like 10,000, like 11,000 really, it's like, oh, neutrality as far as, okay, truly the middle of this range. And so there isn't much to go over, but of course, price is a little bit higher. And the big thing is waiting for the break of the key resistance or that of the support. We can see this is markets go up, down, can correct through price or through time. And this is, a little bit of price, but the combination of both price and time has been the key. At least you can say since the June 21st breakout, it's just been a whole sideways correction. And it will remain that until, of course, it breaks those levels. Now, as far as the 18 average is concerned in here, this is a break yesterday of the 18 highs, which is exitation. So an attempt to, we'll change this trend over higher. But how does it react to the statement yesterday? It was, oh, it's a pause day so far. And it's above the 18 average of highs. And when I say it's above, that means the lowest prices. For the 18 average of highs is in at 10,214. Currently, the low is 10,318. So $100 and $300 from current price from the low. When is the last time that Bitcoin had that happen? Well, we look at here, and we have a low of 12,030, but the 18 average of highs was 12,034. Not quite. Then we have this day here, where the low is in at 11,317 and the highs is 11,365. Again, not quite, which would take us to the day of the high. And it was several days in a row, of course, in that situation. Pretty close to maybe Baker's dozen or close to it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, Baker's dozen 13. 13 consecutive periods it had, but the last time was here. Now, for it to do it today, the best mathematical way is a pause day or small gains. Because if this thing were to say move up to like say 11,400, well, that's probably not going to do it anymore. I haven't verified any mathematics to see how high it could go because of the fact that when this market has higher prices throughout the day, if it goes up to like say 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, then this number at 10,214 is going to go higher. But as it stands, it's got to go up $100, just 104.07 cents, because that's the differential. So it's probably, yeah. If it can hold this, this will be a good aspect. Now, as if that mathematical exact number even really means anything. I mean, it does a little bit to me, I guess, since I'm pointing out. But the whole fact is, if it does that type of situation where we have that type of gain, where we can see here again on the 8 hour, we have this move in here. Let's even take a look at this on the 3. See, after this move, good correctionary play. But this was the decent green, amazing green candle because it was 3%. Then you got 3 sideways, and your continuation, this little low volatile sideways, but you're like, you know what, let's just do a little bit higher, even above where this level of resistance was. So a lot of those strong signs being shown that, you know what, just maybe this could make a move higher. And let's transition next into gold, which on the monthly chart, clear long uptrend from, we'll call it 10 years. Some sideways correction, a price correction, and more sideways movement, but really establishing this big resistance a little above Fibonacci 1321 at 1362. And what has it done since the breakout? Well, successful pause period last month. And we're only in the second day of month August, which is this current month. And it's looking pretty good so far. But what does the market sentiment, what has it been saying for the longest of time? It's been, yep, we're probably going to have a pierce above this 15 and quarter number. Good chance of it. And then after that, we got the short-term market 1670, and then the previous high 1920, and then new territory after that. So when you're looking at new territory above 2000, 21, not even close. 22, probably not. 23, 24, you're barely starting to get to a conservative level for next key point of resistance, because breaking 2000 or 1900 is going to be big news, big game changer, basically. So let's just take a look at this now on the weekly chart. And I've switched up the ticker symbol to remove the lines, just so I can use my drawing tool and not have to, because I just go right click, delete, draw, and delete it, everything. So amongst this, okay, well, that's that same level of resistance showing how well it has handled its breakout. Because one, it's had a clear breakout above. It's remaining in this choppy action. So it's an interesting setup, and it's not going to stay like this for too long. It has to either break it to the downside and at least move to sideways or a little bit down, or it's got to break it to the upside, and that's when things get wild. And right now, there is no signs of it breaking on either direction, but it's closest to the highest level. And when we look at this on the triple day time frame, this little pattern in here, that's kind of changing, because one, we have this little move in here, and this third day starts today. So yesterday's was the close. So what's up with yesterday? Well, let's take a look at the daily, and well, it's called an outside day, and it closed at the highs. An outside day, and this is not only an outside day, this is outside how many days? Looks like about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not twice in a row. I hit the baker's dozen one, and I hit this one. I'm counting 8 now. Yeah, 8, because from period here, from July the 22nd to July the 31st, the highest price yesterday was higher than all 8 of those days, and the lowest price was lower than all 8 of them as well. Which indicates to me, when I just look at this, the first thing I'd be thinking is, oh, did it have one of those intraday failed breakdowns before the big move higher? Because the markets just do that a lot. On the 3 hour, okay, well, yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Because we have, well, for that to happen, you need a key level of support it has to take out. Well, I have a 3x hit level here at around 14.14 as it was hit here, here, I think I can even say 4x hit when I include this one as well. And even resisted it here on the way down, as we can see in this candle here. So there's your failed breakdown. Draw that box shape formation. And this was just an explosive move because it was the whole thing about moving back to congestion area, which is in here. I mean, that was a no-go. I mean, no, we're not doing that. We are getting above. We're getting close to previous high. And we're going to come back and support where we came from here. Because that's what it's doing right now at this point here. Or with what we're doing with the last four and to the current period now. So I got to like this. And I have a gold order ready to go. I'm looking, you know what, maybe I'll just buy a couple small pieces of gold at about like maybe a half ounce or something in that area. And yeah, because I don't have that much gold compared to silver and cryptos, and it might be a good idea because of such. But and of course the bullish behavior. I mean, I bought just a bit of gold before, basically because I really didn't have hardly any at all. I still don't have hardly any, but uh, yeah, the price does look good here on the hour time frame. What do we got for this failed move? And it took some time. There were several periods to go down, and even it took some time on the way up. For the decline started on 2 days ago at 1400 hours, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. It started to go down. And then, I mean, its big moves happened early. There was a decent sized move that same night. But it bottomed yesterday morning at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. And then there were, I mean, the highlight hour was this one at 1.38%, but you can't discount the 10 o'clock hour. It got it going, even though the low was 9 o'clock. So I guess, yeah, from 9 o'clock, it was a good rally here. But this top comes in at 1,500 hours. So it took 8 hours to make its move. And even then, the 1800 hour, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the highs for this move has come into play because we had this good correctionary move, and it's been now just staying within the 18. And this is an interesting situation amongst it. When we look at the last two current periods and see that something is a brewing, and maybe it's just because it's the start of the day. But what I find very interesting amongst this in here is how it's got this above the noticeably above the 18 highs, and this noticeably below the 18 lows, and it has already retraced back. So it's had high to low, and now if we were to do that log calculation, we're looking at about 0.77, 0.78 from this high to this low to where, at least up to this area here. But it's it tells me that this thing could be ready to, at least if it's going to be neutral, extend some of this range a bit. If it's going to do that, at least retest this high on a neutral situation, maybe establish a lower level of support somewhere amongst the range. But either extend the range or break out, break down. And of course, breakdown, of course, is breaking down below here. And breakout would be breaking out above this high. Let's just see it quickly. I mean, yeah, you can see it right in here, starting at the 8:30 a.m. time frame. And that's 8:28. Just a lot of decent volatility. But let's move on next to silver. And a little bit different with gold. It's just at the lower end of the 18 average, and we can see yesterday it had the good gain, but it's given pretty much it all back. So the short term, much different, but rhyming a little bit within gold. And different, of course, is, and this is now showing the coming back to where we came from as resistance, now weakness amongst the 18 average of lows. But it did have that rally. I mean, it was 9 o'clock. I would let me just go to the hour time frame. Was it 8 o'clock around that area? And there's 1,500 hours on the top here. Here it's 1,500 hours as well. 2 hours later, gold made a new high. This one had an up hour, but that was about it. And then, of course, correcting. This is correcting, of course, a bit more harshly or more towards the downside. Okay. So, this overall, when we look at this, say, on the 3 day, well, it's been in an uptrend. For where we're coming back to, well, we've already came back to the upper end here. You can see that, I think, in here. Still hanging in there. If we go any deeper, we got this level of resistance, which coincides with this hitting here. But it's a decent leg lower from this low. If, of course, that's where it's going to be playing itself towards, because it's already established its level of support. It had basically a three-hit area around 1593. So far in this move, it's been close to testing it, but it's a noticeable pierce above right now with the what period that hit in the previous 8 o'clock hour, or it done so at 8:30 in the morning. But for what it's worth, it's hanging in there on the monthly. It's very cheap for $16.13, considering the fact of how much does it cost to mine? How much has the price been suppressed? And what kind of probability does it have in moving in price towards the future, in the future? For when we look at the stock market divided by M2, which is M2 money supply, and I multiply it by 100 just to get whatever number, it's doing pretty good since 1998. It's not too high and it's not too low, but it's past the halfway point. Silver divided by M2. Well, it's definitely at the more lower end of this rung, which indicates to me price suppression, and it's the cheaper price it's in at right now. And gold divided by M2, it's in the middle-ish more area. Nice run up in this 2011 area, of course, showed earlier with the gold chart. But in this one here, well, we had the breakout in June, the pausing in here. This is showing that it's ready to revert on this format as well. And to finish it off, let's quickly show the stock market, which yesterday was down 1%, yesterday down a little over 1%. Two 1% down days in a row. Coming back to where we came from here, which is an interesting situation. Moving deep into this area of more longer term resistance is even the low 26,000 area. But it's got the and when you look at this, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I don't have to draw the line in because the red line will suffice. But in this play here, it's either one of two things. Well, this thing could be a failed breakout, or it could be that statement in here. Okay, we're ready to go higher. We've had resistance at this level 1, 2, 3 times, and now this time we didn't resist it. We're ready for new territories of highs. So you have a small move originally. You come back to where you came from, which is where we are now. And if it's bullish, you break this level, and then 28,000, 32, 34, 38, 41 type numbers will come in. But if that doesn't happen, you're looking at a failed move. But all you'd be talking about coming back to congestion areas like in here, and the fast move would be like 24,000. Alert on Bitcoin Cash and DGB. Well, DGB's been going down, so it's probably selling Bitcoin Cash for DGB on my end. So let's just take a look and see what that indicates to me. So, yeah, okay, what are those? It didn't hold. No, it's holding. So what I gotta do at the conclusion of this video, it looks like, is sell some Bitcoin Cash, at least look towards selling it against DGB. Recently, of course, my last trade would have been in here, probably going down. Yeah, I would have sold DGB to buy Bitcoin Cash, and I'm just going to revert that trade back. Oh, what an exciting chart that is. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.